So I recently made a video talking about some unreasonable crashouts. And normally I'd revisit the idea after making some different videos so we could branch out, diversify, you know, the usual YouTube strategy. However, the things I've seen, gazed on and looked at have caught my attention so bad I had to come back and mention some more crashouts because these men are proper menaces. I'm saying the things I've witnessed from some of these individuals is some of the most pettiest, dumb, hating, heinous shit somebody could possibly do. Now we've already spoken about some people in this department. People whose whole personality is derived from being an absolute hater, a complete rage baiter, or they're just low-key psycho and drink a bunch of milk. But trust me, there will always be an infinite collection of haters to speak about because hating is a natural part of life. It's an everlasting cycle passed down from generation to generation. Without peace, there can be no hate, and with no hate, no peace. They're yin and yang to each other. So for every good guy, there must always be a bad guy. Whether he's a bad guy because of circumstance, for the pursuit of something greater, or his surname is Poopy Pants. I don't know, man. Villains are villains. They don't need to make sense. And today, I have another set of sickos to go over. Some of the most toxic people I've ever witnessed, and I'm here to show you, man, how irredeemable some of these individuals are and how they can show some of us to hate to our fullest capabilities. Because I know damn well I can go further beyond to become an omni-level hater, I'm telling you. So without further ado, let's get to talking, man. And we are starting with one of the biggest haters who's just come to the movie screen and has shown the general public why he's one of the biggest menaces of all time. The bold rich man himself, Lex Luthor. And I'm gonna start by saying I applaud this man right here. I'm gonna give him his flowers. This guy is so devoted, so dedicated, so motivated to hate on Superman. I can only show him some love and put some respect on his name. He is an aspiring individual. The sheer hard work and pursuit Lex puts into Superman reminds me of the way I used to hustle at my job. Oh my god, I used to hate this shit, man. The boy used to be crying. I can never look back at this shit, man. I can never go back. But for real, Lex is so invested on hating on Superman. He's just obsessed about his life. From his image to his flipping family to everything. He just hates this guy, man. But the question here is, why does he hate Superman? Is he jealous of his radiant ass hair with that perfect curl in his forehead? Is he mad that he's bald and probably used to get his head slapped around all the time? Is he just pressed because he's a regular ass human? Nah, man. This guy's just a hater because he wants to be a hater. He can't stand the thought of Superman's existence. Lex's whole mindset against this guy revolves around him wanting to just be better and more superior than him. He just hates the idea of somebody like Superman doing the shit he can do and be hella overpowered. The guy is just hella jealous. But as much as Lex hated Superman for no reason and just despised the guy, he also had a couple logical reasons as to why he hated him. Lex believes that Superman is so overpowered that he limits human potential. He thinks that Superman raises the bar so high nobody else can match up to him, so it gives people an excuse to be lazy and less hardworking. And compare that to somebody like Lex, who worked his ass off for his fortune and everything he has in his life, he just saw it as a threat. So he sees Superman as somebody who takes away humanity's ability to keep growing and being better. He also dislikes Superman because, God forbid, regardless of all the good Superman does, if he crashes out, it's game over for Earth. Everyone is finished. If Superman said tomorrow, I'm king of Metropolis, who's gonna stop him? Ain't nobody gonna beat the guy. If the guy switched up and said, I'm tired of being the nice guy, it's over for everyone as we know it. Everyone is finished. But regardless of these two reasons and how they make sense, he's still a massive hater. So let's go over some examples of Lex being an absolute criminal to Superman and how he was low-key bugging at the guy. In the latest Superman movie, he was showing us there's levels to this shit. This man was out here painting a room full of people, coordinating them, coaching them, leading them to pilot one supervillain to fight Superman. The man orchestrated this shit and was rubbing their shoulders like they were locked in. What is this man? He was spitting combos and button mashing like this was a fighting game just so he could beat the brakes of Superman and knock the guy out. He's such a hater that the guy broke into the Fortress of Solitude, Superman's crib, finessed all the robots and broke everything inside, trashed his whole house, and started stealing all his secrets, including the message his parents sent him, and stole the guy's dog. Why did he steal Krypto? What was it for? Then when Superman goes to confront him about Krypto, he starts rage baiting him, saying shit under his breath, knowing where Krypto is, and he knows Superman can hear him. He's violating, bro. He's taking a piss here. Lex Luthor is a triple threat level hater, not only because of all this, but the guy built an entire micro universe to hold anyone and everyone against the man. If you even talk crazy or so look at the guy wrong, you were probably put in there, you're finished. And the amount of people and hating he was doing in here was diabolical. First, he had a bunch of monkeys writing hate speech to Superman on the internet, just clowning the guy to ruin his image completely. And in the movie, Superman said he hates being called super shit. Lex is most definitely the reason why he's called super shit. Let's be real here. He had Krypto in this place running in a flipping glass ball, chasing after squirrels on the TV like an idiot, and had a bunch of other random people locked up in here for God knows what. Somebody probably talked crazy about his bald head and got his dumb ass thrown in here. The possibilities are endless with Lex being this pay. He's a maniac. So in the movie, with Lex being the one to bail out all of Superman's business on online and make this guy seem like an absolute villain, Lex was able to hold this man prisoner, and dear God, what happens next really shows you this man is disgusting. Lex also captured Metamorpho and put him in a cell with Superman to turn his hand into kryptonite to just slowly kill the guy. Then he starts talking crazy to Superman again, saying he's gonna answer all his questions to seem more of a prick to the public so he could keep ruining any chance of him redeeming himself to people, and so humanity could lose hope in him. And when Superman decided to not answer any of his questions, this criminal gets a random bystander from the start of the movie and just puts a bullet in his head. Ladies and gentlemen, when I saw this in the cinema, I didn't know how to react. I was hella shocked. I didn't think he was actually gonna shoot him. I thought he was just chatting shit, man. What the hell? This guy's a sicko. I can't tell you how I was just sitting there thinking this man is a demon. There was no need for this. This was the worst moment of hating Lex had in the entire movie because this shit caught me hella off guard. I didn't know what to think of the guy after this. This guy is an absolute fiend. It's a different feeling when a villain kills somebody personally versus a machine or somebody else just murking a bunch of people or leveling a whole city. The personal kill hits different every time because you actually see them die up close instead of seeing a bunch of casualties and then the news say a certain amount of people died. When you see a man just pick off a person right in front of your eyes, you know he's the evil guy right there. He's a sicko. And he killed this man. He ended his life just because Superman didn't answer a flipping question, bro. It wasn't even over some serious shit or even a crazy consequence. He killed him for not answering a question that would have set him up. It was for nothing, man. Lex is so evil that he cloned Superman to fight Superman. And earlier when I said he was doing hella combos with this guy, well, eventually when he revealed he was a clone, he started button mashing, hitting him with that 1A straight punches to the dome, wanting to give this man some brain damage. And whilst this shit was happening, he almost destroyed the whole city trying to kill this man, wanted to leave the civilians in Metropolis to die and started an entire war between two different countries to even have an excuse to murder him. And he did all of this, committed all of this crap, definitely spent millions and trillions on even trying to create the clone to even making a flipping universe just because he had full envy and jealousy toward the guy. Luthor hated Superman with every fiber of his being. He couldn't let the guy even breathe on the planet because he just despised the man that much. And he isn't just a hater against Superman, he's just a bad guy in general. In the comic, Lex created the cure for cancer, used it on his sister to cure her cancer, and gave her cancer right back just to prove he could even do it. This guy is wicked. Lex could probably save the world from all diseases and injuries. He's one of the smartest characters in DC, yet he spends all his time, resources, and energy to hate on a guy who everyone sees as a hero. But for some reason, Lex sees him as a bad guy. For what? What do you gain from this, bro? We've mentioned menaces like the Reverse Flash, who have done some of the worst shit possible as a villain. But at the same time, he had more of a motive because he was destined to become a hater. So as much as he could probably go and change his fate, he just followed the timeline and decided to stick with what goes ahead in the future. Whereas Lex is just a criminal. He's always been horrible and this guy is too obsessed with Superman. He needs help, man, I swear. Now the next person we're going to speak about is none other than another obsessed individual. The man himself, Thunderbolt Ross, aka the Red Hulk. And let's just cut the shit. He's mad Bruce is laying pipe on his door. Let's just keep it real here. He's pressed at Bruce's with his door and he can't do shit about it because the way this guy runs rent-free in this man's mind is crazy. General Ross is just power hungry like 90% of all governments. He just wants control like a weirdo. His whole pursuit of chasing Bruce makes no sense. He'll hide behind saying the Hulk is a threat and needs to be neutralized or captured, which is fair enough, I hear it. But most of the times, the only reason why Bruce is dangerous is because Ross was chasing him, provoking him into transforming anyway. They trapped the guy in a flipping university throwing tear gas and shit. What did you think was gonna happen? You came with a hostile approach anyway. Make it make sense. Bruce was getting chased by the military throughout the entire movie, even though he just wanted to live in peace away from everybody else. The guy literally isolates himself from society. It's not like he goes around willingly changing and crashing out on people. He only does it when it's necessary and when he actually needs to become the Hulk. Yet, to complete dumbasses like Ross, he thinks he's out here bugging out all the time when my guy Bruce is on some meditating shit. Come on, man, let the man live in peace, bro. Bruce had days and months without changing, but it wasn't until Ross came for the guy and that shit dropped straight to zero. They be stressing the guy out. Ross wanted to get at the Hulk so bad. He had stupid ideas like turning Blonsky into a super soldier, which warped his mind, made him tapped in the head, which also made this guy power hungry to eventually crash out and turn into the Abomination and destroy the whole of Harlem alongside fighting the Hulk. So if we really think about it here, General Ross indirectly killed people to go after a man who hasn't changed into a thing that allegedly kills people for months, who wasn't doing no harm for a minute, bro. The math don't math here. It's not working, bro. He's just a hater. As much as I can understand the government viewing superpowered individuals as dangerous and wanted to make sure they can be safe around them, keeping control of them, Bruce always took leave so he wouldn't be a danger to anyone else already. He already took that action for himself and there wasn't a Hulk-related incident for months, maybe years. But with people like Ross, he wants to hunt down the guy and force the guy to change, acting like he's not gonna move crazy. If you threaten him, use your head, man. What do you think's gonna happen? The whole incident in Harlem really just happened because Ross just wanted to rage bait this man. Make it make sense, bro. Somebody needs to tell this man, let it go. It was never that serious. As far as I'm concerned, the Hulk would only come out to act out in self-defense. I don't think in the 2008 movie he's ever had a rage moment without being in either a crazy situation where he's forced to change or he's got to do some heroic shit. He was getting jumped left, right, and and center and put into high-stress situations, which I'm sure, since the military, the same dumbasses which even greenlit the experiments Bruce was doing with gamma radiation, which turned him into the Hulk, probably knew what triggers him and still wanted to poke at him. What do you mean? I'm just sick of these militaries and police and superhero movies. They always try to do too much, man, I swear. It's jarring. The only reason why the Hulk exists is because these men were begging it. Entire governments were going feral when they found out Captain America was a super soldier. This man started the next generation of stupid armies in the world playing with a bunch of dumb shit. Weapon X program, military. Hulk, military. Sentry, military. Blonsky, military. I'm tired of these men. They were finessing themselves and had no accountability. You suck. Now look, I can understand where they're coming from. Feeling powerless against crazy people like Thor and Wanda is scary for them to think about. So I kind of hear where they're coming from. But then they want to be playing with fire and want to have absolute control over them, which is just stupid. Militaries have no bargaining chips to talk crazy like that. Instead, they should just come to a mutual agreement with heroes and make it make sense for both of them, since they're both trying to do the right thing. But the military want to go ahead, create and do a bunch of shenanigans, then be a hoe about it and hunt them down. But you, man, I swear. And General Ross, he's just a certified hater. Always hated on the Hulk. Shit, he always hated on Bruce. He was so pressed that he was with Betty, you couldn't fathom it. It was so bad, he brought a gun to Bruce and Betty's wedding to shoot Bruce. What the hell is that, man? It's not that serious. And I want to know, who voted this man for president in the newest Captain America movie? Who put this guy in the chair? What does this mean? And now we have reached the final crash out of this video, and this person is an absolute tyrant. And this man was out here traumatizing children and ruining their lives. This guy is such a demon, I can't even describe him. He's an absolute monster. And the man I'm speaking about is Vilgax from Ben 10. And this guy is just a different level of tap. He was tripping throughout the whole of Ben 10. Vilgax has always been a menace. He got exiled from his home planet because he was just evil. And as soon as he found out about the existence of the Omnitrix, the man spent hundreds of years doing a bunch of insane shit in the universe just to get at it. He destroyed several planets, including Diamond Heads, which made Tetrax the last of his kind. Got cybernetic augmentations after getting his ass beat, which made him go from a normal built alien to some giant Hulk squid Terminator. He became Bolo. He sent a bunch of murder robots to try and get the Omnitrix several times. And when he found out Ben was a 10-year-old kid, he didn't care, man. He was still gonna kill the guy anyway. Ben was living rent-free in Vilgax's head so bad, the man went on a training arc between classic Ben 10 and Alien Force. He conquered 10 planets through trial by combat, literally beating the shit out of people for world domination. And then he tried to use this shit on Ben, but he flopped and got his ass whooped. Then he went on to doing a bunch of random shit like becoming the herald to the Dagon, which is a dimensional demonic entity, and later fused with it and eventually became the Dagon. Came for Azimuth to build him another watch. Worked alongside evil Bens to get out one Ben with no watch, and used a Chrono Sapien time bomb to delete all Bens with watches across every timeline. This guy's a sicko. At that point, it wasn't even about the watch no more. He just wanted to get at the guy. Vilgax had generational beef with the Tennyson family. First with Grandpa Max finessing this guy onto a nuke and getting him blown up. And then eventually, this guy gives a personal vendetta against a child, bro. As soon as Vilgax got smoked the first time, he couldn't take that level of disrespect. He was bugging. Ben had him not thinking straight. He was too blinded to getting smoked by a teenager. He couldn't have it. And Vilgax used to look so cool in the OG Ben 10 series. The guy used to look like a proper menace. Then when his Alien Force design came out, he looked straight up goofy. The guy looks like a bozo. He was not toughy. Where the hell did all his cybernetics go, and why did this guy just randomly get sword out of nowhere? His fit was trash. The redesign was garbage, man. And he just became less of an antagonist in the later seasons. The guy didn't matter as much as he used to, which was sad to be seen because Vilgax used to be dope as hell. He was hype back in the day. But Vilgax is a twisted individual. And the fact that he was getting mad personal with a teenager and hated this guy's guts differently, this just says that the guy's a tyrant. He needs to be locked up now, man. He's a criminal. But now we've reached the end of the flick. If you lot got any more unreasonable crash outs or disagree with the ones I mentioned, let me know in the comments below. Let me see some different ones there. I appreciate all you, man. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.